Heavy rain is gone, but our severe weather alert day continues as snow moves in overnight. I'll have details on the timing and impacts right now at 6.
Frantic moments across the region as floodwaters threaten homes and lives.
So yeah, the kids went into pickup mode. Anything on the floor they thought might get damaged went all on beds like last time. But it just brings back a lot of bad memories. Scary.
This video reminding us of just how powerful and dangerous rushing water can become. Team coverage from the hardest hit areas begins now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A destructive day here in the mountains. Rain overnight and this morning rushed into creeks and rivers. Those floodwaters surrounded homes and led to some dramatic rescues. Here's a better look tonight at the strength of the Cumberland River. What we first believed to be a home floating down the water luckily turned out to be a trailer one family was just using for storage. We have reporters zeroing in on the hardest hit areas. They will join us shortly. But first, while the rain is moving out, tonight some snow moves in. WYMT's Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel is tracking the threat. Paige?
Steve, like you said, the rain has moved out of the area, and now we're looking at a very nice, clean radar in terms of rain. There's still a lot of green on that radar as we have still a lot of warnings going into tonight due to the flooding. We'll go ahead and take you first to radar. You're seeing the Cumberland River, the Kentucky River. We're seeing those warnings still out, and those are going to go through tomorrow morning. We do have an aerial flood warning still out for a lot of our counties. That includes Bell, Knox, Whitley, some of the hardest hit areas, even into parts of Harlan. That continues through this evening. Lighter rains expected could turn into snow, but of course we're keeping an eye on those rivers as they are expected to crest tonight and get very, very close to moderate flood stage. Does include the Kentucky River over into Hazard, and those areas that are at that moderate to almost major flood stage, dropping in Baxter and at crest in Pineville, but still expected to crest to 33 feet if we're looking into Williamsburg. The record is at 35, not expected to get there, but expected to get very close. And like you said, Steve, we're tracking snow as we head into tonight. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you very much. We have a better look tonight of some of the flooding in Harlan County. This is a bird's eye view taken from a drone by Adam Miracle. Some call it one of the worst floods in Harlan County's 200-year history. And take a close look at this picture sent to us. Brave first responders rushed in to help families in need. For that part of the story, let's send it to WYMT's Will Puckett live in Harlan County. Will?
Those pictures and videos that you see barely do justice to this flooding. County Judge Executive Dan Mosley said for the most part this flooding was rather unexpected. Initial estimates had Harlan cresting at 16.5 feet. However, as of 1 this afternoon, it was at 25 feet. While crews are prepared for situations like today's, damage across the county is widespread.
It's been widespread flooding. I mean, we've heard of homes flooding in Shield, Dehoyt, Tremont, Cumberland, Baxter, Elcombe, Cranks, and those communities I named span from one end of this county to the other, east to west, north to south. I mean, we've seen widespread flooding. It's not, in some certain cases, certain floods we've had here in recent years, it's isolated to one pocket of the county. That has not been the case with this.
As I stand where water was about knee deep, this situation really started to become dire at around daybreak this morning in Harlan County. When we got here just about noon, rain was still coming down in sheets. There, we saw first responders speeding to communities across the county. It is video like this that shows the damage that spans Harlan County.
We've been out since daylight, multiple rescues, evacuations. We've probably got 12, 14 people just off 413 alone.
Rain falling across the Cumberland Valley swarmed homes and roads, sending people living inside scrambling to get to higher ground.
About 6 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock this morning. I can't really believe, honestly. I've never been in a flood before, so it's kind of scary.
First responders were set up with boats at the mouth of what were once roads that became raging streams and rivers.
Pretty fast. It got really fast over them steps over there.
As the floodgates closed, people who were flooded out of their homes stopped by to look and seek help of where to go next.
We woke up this morning about 8 o'clock to the fire department banging our door down, and we had about 3 inches of water at that time. I currently just went back to my apartment, and it's got about 3 foot of water in it.
As the rain subsides, families are now left to look and see at what they can salvage.
It's scary, really. I mean, I got a wife and a son, a great aunt who's on oxygen. She lives with me. It's miserable. You know, I mean, right now, you know, we're not knowing what to do.
Or what may be lost forever. 2 years ago, about this time, we were a mile up the road in the Tremont community of Harlan County, where we were watching a very similar scene unfold. Water rushing into people's homes, leaving their cars surrounded as they searched for higher ground. But Judge Executive Dan Mosley put it best. Material items can be replaced, but lives cannot. That's why tonight he is happy to say that no lives have been lost in this flooding in Harlan County. But this is a story that stretches across the entire Cumberland Valley. We head over about 45 minutes from where I stand to our Connor James, who's in Middlesboro tonight.
I think the most important thing to echo here today, Will, is that there were no lives lost, kind of like you mentioned here. But as that water begins to recede across the Cumberland Valley, we're starting to see the damage left behind by that storm. Drenched streets stretch through Middlesboro. Businesses flooded, cars submerged, as many are now isolated as the streets fill with floodwater.
It's about two feet.
Nikki Estes stands on her porch as cars drive down what was once Willow Street, passing by what was her front yard.
Watching these guys go by, it gets scary because nobody needs to be out in this. It just makes it worse.
Surrounded by water, just another foot or two would flood her home.
So yeah, the kids went into pickup mode. Anything on the floor they thought might get damaged went all on beds like last time.
Last time, her home flooded back during the floods here in 2011. She's just scared she'll see it again.
This is our only way in and out of here.
Across the street, Ashley Lovell's home is surrounded by floodwaters. At her old home, she saw flooding before.
But nothing like this right here, what I'm seeing.
Trapped on all sides, the family of 4 just waits for the water to recede.
My kids right now are really scared. I think they're the most ones panicking.
As of now, Ashley's home is still dry. Her neighbor was not as lucky. James Martinez's day started with a call to his landlord.
Yeah, we have contacted him. He's trying to figure something out.
More than a foot of water sits in his basement.
All of our Christmas stuff is ruined. Every bit of it.
Some things down here are replaceable, but other things are not. James's dad died 10 years ago. So did his wife's grandmother.
All of those are gone. All the pictures that he drew, painted. All of her grandmother's stuff that she painted.
Decades of the sentimental and irreplaceable now sit submerged, as many just wait for the water to recede. Now listen to this. For the first time ever, 12 miles north of here, the city of Pineville has closed its floodgates. Yes, the first time ever since they were constructed nearly 30 years ago. Now here's some video from around 2 today. They only closed half of the floodgate in hopes to cause minor disruption while they monitor the river. When they closed that portion of the gate, they expected it to be the highest crest since the 1977 flood.
I just want everyone to understand we've got this under control, and to not worry. There's no reason to panic. Everything will be okay.
Now at around 4:30, we did receive word that crews have reopened the floodgates. Now, as for here in Middlesboro, the fire department is in contact with the Red Cross. If you've been displaced from your home, or if you've had flooding in your home and you can't live there tonight, they are working on getting something set up with the Red Cross. Give them a call so that when the Red Cross comes here, they'll be able to administer that aid throughout the county. I'm in Middlesboro. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Connor James, and before that, Will Puckett, thank you very much. Good to see the water starting to recede there in hard-hit Bell and Harlan counties. Now, earlier, dozens of people were rescued across Bell County. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to one of those families as they were brought to safety.
This is what Pineville looked like on Thursday. Record rainfalls.
I've lived here all my life, and it's never, since 77 floods, it's not got up as bad.
The Johnson family home was only one of more than 20 where water rushed in and took control.
When I left, I was wading water out of my living room and bedroom and my dining room and the rest of my bedrooms.
Making it out with only their grandchild and one of their 4 dogs.
And all 3 of them's just pups. And they said they couldn't make 2 trips, had more places to go.
One of the next places may be Walls End, right by the river.
And we're right now under a voluntary evacuation for the Walls End community. Don't know if we will go to a mandatory evacuation for Walls End. Some people have started moving.
Even if the wall closes again, first responders will be on either side of the gates. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
A portion of the Cumberland Gap Tunnel also closed for part of the day. Here is some video sent to us of that. As you can see, some water flowed into the tunnel. A scary sight there. They were forced to close the southbound lanes for a time. Now, take a look at this video sent to us by viewer Brian Carter. A Harlan County man rushed to save his horses from the rising water this morning. The owner of those animals posted on Facebook he was able to get them all to a safe spot. Now, in Jenkins, people became concerned when they saw this water rushing over the dam there. This was the scene earlier today. Fire officials tell us there is no reason to worry, though. This is actually how the dam is intended to work. As of now, no homes are in harm's way. The post office in Jenkins, however, did not fare nearly as well. The fire department rushed there to begin pumping water out. The call came around 8:30 this morning of flooding in the basement. The fire department will continue to pump the water out. A fire department official said they are available to help as long as they are needed. Here in Perry County, flooding also a big concern tonight with the North Fork of the Kentucky River 5 feet above flood stage and still slowly rising. Several roads are now closed as the river reaches levels not seen since 2003. WYMT's Emily Bennett is live in Hazard with the latest. Emily?
Steve, I am standing here by City Hall. You can see Main Street behind me is completely covered in water. They have it closed off. Now, the Perry County flooding isn't as bad as we've seen in the Cumberland Valley, but officials are still urging people to take precaution. Now, the North Fork River has not crested yet. It is supposed to a little later tonight. Currently, it's sitting around 24 feet. It is expected to rise another 1.5 feet. Now, this afternoon, there was a water rescue on 451 in Perry County near Big Willard Road. No one was injured, but officials are urging people to not drive through water on any road.
4 inches of water can move a car, and a foot of water can move a big truck like a fire truck. So it's not worth the risk.
Now, Steve, like you said, many roads are closed in Perry County. As you can see, Main Street behind me. Now, East Main Street from the water plant to Kentucky Power, and East Main Street down by Triangle Park. So please be safe out there. I'm live in Hazard. Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Emily, and the river at last check was about 25 feet, expected to crest around 26 feet, hopefully very soon. In Pike County, crews have been working to clear a mudslide on Chloe Road since around 10 o'clock this morning. This is some new footage from the site. A lot of the mud and debris has been removed, but water continues to pour down the mountain as crews work to clear the road. Officials tell us there's currently no estimated time frame for the reopening of the road. The mayor of Hyden declared a state of emergency today. Take a look at the flooding there. You can see the park was several feet underwater. As of now, it does not sound like that the water ended up in any homes in that area. Declaring the state of emergency allows officials to apply for potential relief from state funds.